What's going on, investors? AK from Fallible here. Today I want to share with you a segment of an interview I did with Tyler at MacroOps. Now in this portion we talk about trading as a business and what it means to have a career as a professional trader. There are some big misconceptions that we clear up when it comes to being a professional. You'll be surprised what you learn about clients, fundraising, and even managing a business in general. So watch this interview, and if you learn something, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell for notifications of future videos. We're going to release more segments from this interview in the future. Enjoy.
Okay, now I got a few questions for you on just the business of trading. I think it's pretty interesting because a lot of people, we talk about how to place a trade, and the process of trading. But then I think there's a whole other side of it as well that I find really interesting, which is just the actual business of it. So obviously trading is an industry, managing other people's money is an industry as well. And I think that's a huge part for any aspiring trader to know about and start looking into as well, because if people are serious about doing this as their career, managing other people's money or getting into the space as a registered investment advisor or something like that is definitely one of the top career choices to do versus, just managing your own money, because it's pretty tough going if you're just managing your own personal wealth, unless, you have millions of dollars, because the onus is so high if you have a small account to be able to pay bills, et cetera. So do you have any thoughts on just the business in general?
Yeah, I think from a retail standpoint, when you're thinking about going into the professional space, I think there's a misconception that when you get into the professional space that you'll be, doing more of what you love, which is, researching, creating strategies, trading.
Mm-hmm.
When in fact, what happens when you're dealing with clients is that a lot of your time goes towards that. They are time suckers. That's what clients are. When you got to deal with them, I would not say it's a fun part of the job. I've got friends who are advisors with a lot of clients and they like it, but they know how much time and effort you got to put into that. You're not trading as much as you'd like to.
Yeah, so I imagine the emotional swings are amplified even more, because not only do you have your own personal ups and downs depending on how you're doing, but you probably also have them amplifying the ups and downs. So when your account's in a drawdown and you're down, 10, 20%, you already feel pretty bad. And then I'm guessing you're probably getting a ton of calls from other people who feel bad, and you got to deal with their emotional baggage as well. So
exactly. So you can deal with your own emotional stuff, right? Because you've trained for this, but how are you going to deal with their untrained, emotions? Because they're going to call you every day. You're like, we're down 20%. What's going on? What's going on? Should I pull my money out? And yeah, you basically become their psychiatrist at that point, which I saw with my dad in his business. I was like, oh, this is he always told me so the misconception is that you want to get into the industry, where he was always telling me the goal is really to have your own money to manage.
Yeah.
Like you said, you need a decent chunk of that, but that's really the goal. So you don't have to deal with clients.
Yeah. So I guess there's also the other path you can go, where you just, stay a part-time guy. And, if you're using something systematic, like you mentioned, and it only takes a few hours a week to maintain, you can still trade your own money and not deal with having to build up a client base, stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's the other thing we didn't even mention, is that building up that client base is very difficult. So
yeah. A lot of dinner. Imagine a lot of dinners and drinks and
a
lot of calls.
Yeah. You're lucky to have a lot of calls and dinners and drinks, though. It's hard enough to even get that capital from people.
Yeah.
Where, we know a lot of guys who have smaller funds, which are too small, and we're talking millions, but they're too small to run a profitable business because they can never breach that level of capital that you really need.
Yep.
To run it.
Yeah, you definitely need quite a bit to cover costs, compliance costs, legal, all that.
Right. So not only do these guys have to spend all this time with clients, but they got to be finding new clients too. So a lot of my friends, they got into the industry and they thought they were going to be focusing on trading. It's like, no, you're a fundraiser now.
Yeah, it's more of business building. So would you say a good summary is, if you're in the professional side of trading, really what you're into business building, it's more fundraising, business building than actual trading. Like the amount of trading you do as a professional versus as a retail trader is probably very similar. Right? Because you're just adding on the client relations, you got a
whole business to run.
Yeah.
They're not the same. They are different. Like, you're running a business and you're trading. Kind of becomes like working your day job and then trading.
Yeah.
People don't understand that until they're in it.
So is that something that you see yourself doing, or are you always going to be someone that really wants to stay more independent and just, you know, trade your own funds? Or would there ever be a time where, you know, you're ready to take on those business duties?
I'm more of an independent guy. Like, I would not want to do it maybe for very close family and friends, but even then it's very difficult to deal with other people's emotions, I think.
Yeah.
Especially especially in a market, which is like meant, you know, it's pretty much set up to play with your emotions.
Yep.
I don't envy some of my friends. I don't know how they do it. And the efficiency that I love kind of goes out the window. You can't be efficient with people's emotions. When they're coming to you calling, you're kind of trapped.
You got to pick up the phone and spend the time with them. And, you know. Yeah,
I saw my dad do it all the time. I see my friends do it now. That's why I was always advised, don't get into managing client money if you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you really want to scale, you might have to eventually, but there's other ways to do it too.
I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're looking for more videos all about markets, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell for notifications of future videos. We cover everything from stock market analysis to psychology tips to even trading strategies. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay fallible out there. Bye.